this summer, I attended the cemetery where one of the most respected Jewish rabbis is buried. And on the way there, I ordered an Uber. To my surprise, my Uber driver was Mohammed. And I thought, how ironic, I'm going to one of the holiest places in Judaism, and he's taking me there. Anyways, I get there, and there are hundreds of rabbis from all over the world. It happened to be the Rebbe's anniversary. So out of the distance, I happened to see a rabbi I recognized. And I was so excited, so I went up to him, and I was like, Rabbi, how you doing? And he couldn't believe it. He was like, oh my God, Alan Yancelson, I can't believe it's you. What are you doing here? How'd you get here? And I said, thanks to Mohammed. So my journey through Judaism has been as unexpected as the way I got to the Ohel, to the cemetery. I grew up in Mexico City, which is one of the most Catholic cities and countries in the world. Yet my parents made the sacrifice for me to go to a Jewish day school, attend the Jewish Community Center, play sports, meet Jewish people, go to the synagogue, the shul. And I lived almost in a Jewish bubble. Everything in my life was Jewish. I had my bar mitzvah. But then, 20 years ago, we moved to San Antonio. And now I became one of only 3 Jews in a public school of almost 2,000. And the community in San Antonio is a little smaller. So it took more of an effort to be Jewish. So I decided to attend an after-school Hebrew class. I joined BBYO, B'nai B'rith Youth Organization. And it wasn't until college that I really became a leader in the Jewish community and took in community activism. I joined the Jewish fraternity, AEPI, and eventually became president. I worked at the Hillel, founded a Jewish Business Association, but also in college, I started battling with depression. And many days, I would not want to get out of bed. I would not want to go to class. I would just stay in my room watching TV, crying sometimes. And one of the only things that would get me out of bed was promoting Jewish community on campus. It was, for some reason, wanting to recruit students to the Jewish fraternity, promote the Hillel on campus, promote Jewish organizations. And unfortunately, after college, my condition took a turn for the worse, so I decided to come back to San Antonio to be with my family. And one day, I got a random call from an unknown number. So I picked up the phone, and it was Rochel Telden, Rabbi Chaim Bloch's daughter and Rabbi Telden's wife. And she invited me to a Chabad dinner with other Jewish young adults from Chabad. To which I declined, politely, because I didn't feel like being with other people, and I'm more of a traditional Jew, so thinking of going to dinner at Chabad, it didn't really make sense to me. So Rochel kept calling me for the next few months from different phone numbers. Because I saved her number and I knew it was her. So I would get the call and I would pick up the phone and it was Rochel invited me to dinner. Finally, one day I ran out of excuses and I ended up at their apartment for Shabbat dinner. And that night changed the course of my history forever. We became so close with Rabbi Telden and Rochel that we ended up founding a Jewish young adult group in San Antonio called YJSA, which has affected hundreds of people throughout the city in our now 11-year history. Recently, Rabbi Telden and I started a new venture called 1.5 Rabbis. Shameless plug. And we spread light and laughter and joy to tens of thousands of people around the world. And I also started learning Torah. I now study with Rabbi Eli and Sylvia Bloch once a week. And it's amazing how throughout this journey, I have found a lot more inspiration and meaning. And every week when I study Torah, I'm able to find somehow something related to my life going on at the moment. And no matter what challenge I'm going through, no matter what's happening in my life, there's always some inspiration and motivation that I get. I call it Torah therapy. So, it doesn't matter how you got to where you are today in your Jewish journey. It may have been through an Uber ride with Mohammed, or you drove yourself here. But I challenge you that no matter where you are, whenever you get that call, you pick up the phone. Thank you.